Good morning. Today we're going to talk about the pain of wasting your 20s and what I've decided to do about it and what you can do about it. And by sharing what I'm doing right now and what I've been doing for the past few years, I would like to inspire some of you guys to see if you can do the same in your own lives and see if it triggers any new ideas and see if I can push some of you guys to start doing a bit more and start doing bigger things and putting more time into something that's worth investing time into and building something for yourself. So I noticed the common trend was that most people, you can see it. Most people, it looks like they're asleep. Like when you actually go down the street and you walk down the street, most people, the sentence like ignorance is bliss. It kind of makes sense, right? All of these people feel like okay-ish. It don't really want to know the deep ins and outs of how society works and how everything is put together, and so they don't really feel like they care, or they don't really want to care, or they want to stay ignorant, right? Because I know there was this study I recently heard was like that most ignorantly even a Down syndrome kid, he'll be extremely happy to play with you and just do whatever, literally anything. He'll be happy to do it. He really does not care about anything in the world other than being in the moment. And on the other hand, the smartest people on the planet are usually the most depressed, the ones that overthink the most, the ones that spend too much time thinking about stuff and not doing enough. And so usually the smartest people are not necessarily the richest, but instead the smartest people are actually the saddest, which is a bit shit. But regardless, that is not the subject of today. So the thing is, today, so most people are ignorant, and especially people our age, people my age. I'm in my 20s. I'm 23 right now, and I know that there are a lot of people my age that kind of feel lost. They don't know what to do, or they've started something. They've started learning, improving their skills, and doing some stuff, but they don't really know exactly the end goal, or specifically where they want to go long term. They're basically just figuring it out, or they haven't figured it out yet. And so what I really wanted to share today was a bit of why would you keep wasting your 20s and enjoy your 20s and just have fun and just do a bunch of stuff, when in reality you're just working a dead-end job to pay the bills, and you don't really care about your future. And that's pretty sad, because you could be doing so much more. You are a human like everybody else. The great people of old, or the great people that have preceded us in the past, that have managed to accomplish great things. You are a human as well, so you should be able to, you are capable of doing what they have done in a similar way. So realistically, you have to think for yourself, do I actually want to accomplish something great? Do I want my life to be better? Even if it's only for the people around you, if not so much for yourself. It really depends what you want to do. But I believe that the fact that everybody can do better means they should be doing better, even if it's the most minute thing, as everybody should be going to the gym, or everybody should eat healthy, or everybody should drink more water, that kind of stuff, or everybody should stop doing drugs and alcohol and smoking and whatnot, whatever the fuck. All those things aren't really healthy for you. So they're just fun. And so most people our age, in their early 20s, like late teens, whatever, they focus too much on having fun in the moment and enjoying their 20s, and I don't think that's super productive. Like, I personally have never been a party person. I think I've went to like maybe like one or two parties in my entire life. I've never liked going to the club. I've went to maybe like one or two bars, that's it. And every single time I've been utterly disappointed in the fact that it was, number one, extremely boring because I wasn't drinking. I do not drink any alcohol whatsoever because I think it is boring. And I prefer to have control over myself and being able to affect my surroundings. So the simple fact that it was extremely boring for me made it so easy to just not do it. So I don't like drinking. I don't like doing any shit. I don't smoke. I don't really do anything that ordinary people, let's say, do today. And if you just keep doing that for your whole 20s, the fact is you're gonna end up wasting your one of the most precious time periods that you have. Like, I kept hearing helicopter. I kept hearing over and over people saying, you shouldn't waste your 20s and you should work on building something so that you can reap the benefits in your 30s and 40s, and basically build something for yourself. Not necessarily sacrifice your 20s, but basically build something for yourself, because that's the period where you have the most energy, the most time, and you are the most prone to learning new skills and becoming more efficient in those skills, like on the long term. So like, if let's say you spend your, like, from the age of 20 to the age of 30, you spend that time learning skills, improving skills, and building something for yourself. By the time you hit 30, you'll have built something and you'll have the income to sustain yourself, which will, number one, make your life better, number two, make the lives of people around you better, and you'll actually be able to do whatever you want. Now, of course, it depends on how hard you go, how hard do you work, how smart do you work. Do you actually want to make millions of dollars? Do you want to make billions of dollars? What do you actually want to accomplish? And then that just basically depends on like who you are as a person. But personally, I think you should always strive for better, even if it's not necessarily becoming as successful as Elon Musk, let's say, with multiple hundreds of billions of dollars on. I'm pretty sure he has hundreds of billions of dollars on on Google. If you look him up, his net worth, he's like richer than the top three combined or something like that. But basically, I think it's worthwhile building something for yourself so that you can reap the benefits later, so that way you're not stuck in an endless loop. Like, I've seen it way too many times with people that are 40 and above or 50 and above, like in the generation of my parents, that have worked a job, worked a career, worked something, but they haven't really gotten anywhere that they actually want to be. Like, they just surfed on the wave of doing stuff and they haven't really thought about the end goal in mind. And so it comes to the conclusion of their lives right now are still like they're still like pretty mid. So like, for instance, there's this one guy in my family, I think he's 52, and I've been helping him recently get into the gym and all that sort of stuff, but that's regardless. But basically, he's been working this career for like over 30 years, and he's still making the same amount of income because he likes doing what he's doing, but he's didn't think about the end goal. Like, he just likes doing what he's doing, so he doesn't really do it for the money. On the other hand, if you look at his entire life as a perspective, it looks like it was only focused on his priority number one was family. His priority number one was family. So he built everything that he got done based on family. But if you want to pick something, and you can literally pick anything, you can pick literally anything. If your end goal is to have a solid family, have a wife and kids, and I don't know, like maybe like a dog at home, and just live at home and just spend your life building your legacy like that, I think that's still worthwhile. But if you want to do something more financially driven, more ambitious, of creating, like, I don't know, maybe like a community that can give back to other men, to improve them, or if you want to run for this career and become like this super renowned doctor or lawyer or something like that, or if you actually want to I don't know, join the military and become like a super high ranking official, or you want to run for government, you want to run for whatever the fuck you want to do, you want to make as much money as you can, you want to start a business, all those things are great things to aspire to. And I think everybody should pick something for themselves and then always be striving to work on it, always be striving to improve it, so that way everybody feels the best. Everybody feels like they have a purpose, and nobody feels depressed, nobody feels sad, nobody feels like shit because they're lost, or they don't know what they're doing, or they have this dead-end job and they're going nowhere, they're turning around, like they're going around in circles, that kind of stuff. So I think picking a goal, picking a purpose is the number one thing you can do in your early 20s if you actually want to stop feeling lost and feeling like you're wasting time. I think that's one of the best things you can do, you can pick. The next thing is definitely linked to picking something. So personally, I'm going to share a bit of my backstory over in my successes over the past year. So for a bit of context, I was born in France as a French citizen with a English speaking father and a French speaking mother. So I learned both languages at a very early age, but I was always more prone to English. And so being raised talking English in a French country made me separate myself from the rest of the people, because I was the only kid like looking at English content online. I was the only kid that was good at English in class. I was always different than everybody else, so it kind of separated me from the other French speaking people in a way. So I'm completely bilingual in both languages, and basically I've always felt different. I've always felt that I wasn't meant to do like everybody else does, and the fact that I spoke both languages made it extremely easy for me to be like, this is the obvious choice, I need to do something for myself, I can't just stay here and do like everybody else. Like, it made it clearer. The fact that I was different made everything clear that I needed to do something else. So I spent most of my 20s, like most of my, I'm 23 right now. I left France when I was 22. Basically, all the time I spent up until I was 21. So like you finish there's a degree that you pass when you're 18 in France. And then for the next 3 years until I was 21, I did 3 years in a private university where I learned a bunch of stuff, but I didn't really see myself having a job in there. So I decided to leave and spent the year from 21 to 22 learning skills, improving my value as a person, learning how to better myself, going to the gym, learning business, becoming an entrepreneur. How does that work? How does money work? How does business work? All that sort of stuff. I learned the basics for like a year from 21 to 22. And once I was 22, I came at a crossroads because I wasn't making like at all like good progress. So I decided to take a more of a radical, risky decision. And I was like, okay, I'm in my early 20s. My dad is from New Zealand. So that's where I'm at right now. And so since he was born here, I can get both passports. I have my French passport and I can get my New Zealand passport. So I was thinking, since I can do that, and since I should do something risky, why don't I just take a plane ride to New Zealand and set myself up over there and just test it out? So over the past year, so since I was 22 to 23, I've been working on myself, and I've been living in New Zealand mostly by myself at first, and then I went flatting with other people. I tried a bunch of stuff. I met a bunch of like interesting people. I learned a lot. I met some extended family and I connected with them as something I had not done in a long time. So that felt pretty good. And the fact that I have a community to belong to here is also a good thing, because I managed to build something for myself here, and I started making money. Over the course of 2025, I made 15 grand USD, I think, which is roughly 24 grand New Zealand dollars. As an entrepreneur, I think, yeah, I worked my first couple jobs here, my real jobs. Like I worked like maybe like once or twice, one job in France before coming here, and then I worked one job here as a waiter, and then at the same time my finances as a freelancer started to pick up. So I was like, okay, what if I just delete this part-time job and focus all of my time and energy into improving my skills and delivering for my clients as a freelancer? And I was like, okay, this is perfect. I'm gonna be able to improve my skills. I'm making enough money to pay rent. I'm making enough money to pay food. That's fine. And so I invested that whole year into improving my skills and becoming a more valuable person for the people around me. And the simple fact that I was in a different environment and I had this opportunity to take a plane ride to New Zealand, and that I had a passport to stay here, so I'm a citizen of both countries, I am able to stay here indefinitely and work here with whoever I want and whenever I want. So the fact that I was able to sustain myself for a long time over the course of a year, make that much money from zero. I'd made zero money as a freelancer in France before coming here, and the fact that I went from zero to making 15 grand USD in the course of the entire year, it managed to prove to me that I was able to actually get stuff done and actually learn stuff and actually put myself in a risky position and succeed. So now that we're in 2026 and I'm striving towards hitting 24, I've started looking at other things in my life, other areas that I had negated since I was so focused on freelancing and that sort of stuff. I've reconnected more with family. I've managed to look into the dating market. I'd never really dated anyone realistically before. I'd never really had any good experiences with like other women in France. So I looked at the dating market here. I did a lot of research. I educated myself on what it is I can do, how to do game, all that sort of stuff. And I started dating a bunch of people to experience rejection and to understand and learn how to get better at it. So I managed to get a girlfriend. I have a girlfriend now. I don't really know if it's gonna be the last one or the first one, or like in terms of like good relationships that I have, it's probably the best one that I have right now, so far, that I've had. And but that's another story for another time. So basically what I'm trying to say is I've had a lot of success over the past year by doing everything myself. Like, I've had mentors teach me how to do stuff. I've learned stuff from other people. I've looked it up online. I've done my research. I've educated myself. And I've done everything myself by just pushing myself to do it. So like, if I didn't have the mental fortitude to push myself to do everything, I would have probably not made as much money as I made last year, and I would still be stuck in a position where I would need to work a job. So like right now, I'm in a position where I've understood, like, okay, everything that I've done so far is good, but it's not good enough, because I'm not as skilled as I would like to be in this business freelancing things. I've started my own company, but I think I don't necessarily need to put everything under my company. What I need to do right now is I need to focus on improving the amount of different skills so that I can provide more value to the people I'm targeting right now. Because basically, for more context, I was focusing for the past year on barbershops and barbers and helping them make more money by creating better assets for them. So that would be like running paid advertisements, putting together websites, running email campaigns, running their social medias, recording content for them, all that kind of stuff, editing for them. Literally everything you can think of as a freelancer. I was doing everything, and I was encompassing all of that into a single package. And I was basically being the everyman of each barbershop I was working with. And so anything they needed, I would just show up and do it for them. And that managed to teach me a lot of different skills. So now I'm confident in creating websites. I'm confident in creating and running paid advertisement for them. I'm confident in creating content all the way through, from recording it, editing, like with my phone like this, directing it, like telling people what to do, how to position stuff, the lighting, all that sort of stuff, editing that content, and then posting it, creating a good description, and making sure the SEO is all good as well. So I've learned many skills, but at the same time, I'm not in a position where I know enough to provide to everybody. So like, for instance, recently I noticed that barbershops aren't really a lucrative niche. So even though I have a lot of experience in it, not everybody is willing to put in as much budget as I would be willing to invest into my own business, let's say. So I decided recently, thanks to one of my friends, we had been sharing work together and sharing like case studies together, so we could learn from each other, improve each other, and just move forward at the same time. And I shared with him my barber case studies, and he shared with me his car detailing case studies. And so we noticed that car detailing was actually more luxurious, more lucrative for both of us. So we decided, okay, I'm gonna focus on car detailing, he's gonna focus on car detailing as well, and we're gonna share case studies, we're gonna improve ourselves. And we kind of segmented everything around like creating a business together. And so it got to the point where now I was like not educated on the car detailing industry. I was not good. I didn't understand anything. We're targeting the US, both of us are targeting the US market. And I'm not from the US, he's from the US, so he understands the market better than I do. He was raised there, I wasn't. So I need to learn a bunch of stuff. Right now I'm kind of just like going through the history of like, how did car detailing come to be? How does it work? What's the history behind it? And kind of understanding the trends. I'm looking at top players, like what's the difference between different states. Like for instance, Texas has UV heat damage, and let's say maybe like Miami, Florida has humidity damage instead. So you need humidity protection. And for the different types of services, there's a lot of stuff to learn. But since the clients I'm working with can charge more money, they're more willing to pay me more money so that I can provide a higher type of service and get more results for them. Because like, if I can help them make an extra 50 grand, they're completely fine paying me 5 grand. So like 10% of 10%, they're willing to pay me 10%, no problem. If I can bring them, like, let's say I bring them 100 grand in, they pay me 10 grand, perfect, that kind of stuff. It realistically depends like which shop I'm working with, but there's, like I said, so many things to learn in order to become a better person, a better, more valuable person to the people you're working with. As a freelancer, that is especially important. Even if you can literally bring anything. If like, for instance, you're working with someone and they're looking at different options of like different website designers, and then they come to you and they say like, oh, I was looking at this guy, what do you think? And then you can just say like, oh, actually I know how to do websites. If you want, I can do it for you for this price. And since you're already working with them, they're going to be like, oh, cool. So they can just give you the work instead. And having more skills allows you to do more, allows you to provide more value, allows you to become that person. If you're a freelancer and you're providing only one skill, I suggest you learn more so you can provide to the clients you're working with more on a general scale, so that way they feel like they cannot separate from you at all. Because if you can provide website design, content creation, what else is there? Paid advertisements, email campaigns, social media, running advertisement, literally everything on freelancing aspect of things, editing, recording, directing, all that sort of stuff. If you could provide all of that, they're going to see you as such a great asset that they will not want to get rid of you. And so they will want to pay you more so that you stay with them on the long term. So from there, you can really just negotiate partnerships at a much better, more lucrative point, because you have a lot of stuff to bring to the table. So obviously they're willing to invest more into you because you are more beneficial to their business if they keep you around. So that's kind of what I'm talking about when I say those are the successes that I've had personally in my past year, and that came from me investing more time and energy into my business, understanding many things, and becoming a more valuable person as a result, So I think everybody should take some time. If you're at the beginning, the start of your journey, I would say don't really think too much about it. Just do something you enjoy doing and you're already kind of good at. If you're not good at anything, just pick something and go with that. There's going to be a learning curve. That's fine. But you need to start. Like, you need to stop waiting around. You need to start something. You need to get it done, and you need to start progressing. Because as soon as you start something, it's easy to do stuff like every day. I work 7 days a week. So obviously there are people that are going to be telling me oh, why do you work 7 days a week? Isn't that too much? Don't you rest on the weekends? No, I work 7 days a week because it is more beneficial for me in the long run if I work 7 days a week, because some people don't. I have the advantage over them. If I work with a client and he's looking at two different freelancers, he's looking at me and he's looking at the other guy. The other guy only works weekdays, no weekends. And I work 7 days a week. He's going to be more willing to work with me because I'm willing to go that extra mile. And so I'm a more valuable person because I put in more time and more energy. So the fact that is, if you put in as much time and energy as you can into developing your skills, becoming more smart, learn more technical, more practical, and encompassing as many skills as you can focus on one skill at first and then branch out into something else later. But for instance, I was learning copywriting, and that is not what I am today anymore. Now I'm like a business partner, strategic partner type guy. And so it is very different than simply providing a commodity or providing a skill. So that way you become invaluable to the business. They absolutely need to keep you. That's what I was talking about. So become more valuable, spend more time, pick something. If you're at the start of your journey, like I said, pick something and stick with it. Do not give up. I stuck with my stuff for the past 3-4 years. I've been learning skills. I've been improving myself. And realistically, you can do the same. If I've done it, you can do the same. That's why I make these videos, is to inspire you guys to know what's possible and what you can do and what you can aspire to. So if you're at the start of your journey, pick something, do it, and just repeat it as much as you can, and just fucking get it done and learn something. If you're already pretty into the journey, I would say focus on what you're doing, do not give up, and just create like a good solid schedule, good solid routine that you can stick to, and just do the stuff over and over again, and think about how to do it better. That's the most important part, because if you keep doing the same thing over and over without really thinking about that, you're never really going to improve that fast. But if you think about it, like every single week, sit down for an hour or more and think about like, okay, this week I did all of this. How can I do this better? How can I do this better? How can I do this better? And then think about that, and then create a new plan for next week and do that better. So that way you're constantly improving, constantly moving forward, and you have something to strive towards. So I hope this helps everybody that's listening to this video. I really appreciate it if you went all the way through it. And yeah, I hope this helped some people. If it did, just make sure to share that in the comments. I'm happy to have a conversation with literally everybody and answer some of your questions. If you guys have some of your questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to help you guys out if you need help as well. Give you some inspiration, give you some motivation, give you some ideas, or just help you out with, even if you have a business idea, I'm willing to hear you out if it's interesting. And yeah, so like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you watching the video. Share this with someone that you think would be interested in hearing about it. And yeah, I wish you the best. And like I said, every single day until now, have a great day.